Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mystery Monday show here in the smartphone photography group, the creative smartphone photography group. And we're going to look at today's theme. We're going to look at some pictures. We're going to have a new theme. We're going to honor a couple of people who have done extraordinarily well. I look a bit like this. No, I don't. I look a bit, yeah, kind of look like that. Look like this. And I've got some coffee on my nose. How about that? I have been on a Facebook Live for about the last hour in the master class private group, and it was amazing. It was great. We've got some people in the masterclass. How about that? So that was fun. And now I'm coming on to talk about everything that's been going on in our little group, creative smartphone photography group. So let me just, I don't know how long it's going to last. We didn't have too many entries in the theme for last Monday, which was books, probably because I was asking for tons and tons of entries to a series I did for 9 days in a row. And you guys were amazing, absolutely amazing. And so you're probably all critted out and all appreciated out because, well, let me just show you what I'm talking about. This isn't it. Hang on. Yeah, have a look at this. Now you see here, this thing down at the bottom was one, it started playing, of course. This thing here. I did 9 of them in a row. I mean, you probably didn't miss them. If you're watching this now, you probably didn't miss them. And it was 9 like hour-long shows where in all, apart from the blurb at the beginning and the end about the masterclass, I probably analyzed about 100 photographs, analyzed and appreciated, at least had a comment to say on about 100 photographs. That was quite a challenge, and I'm quite amazed that I did it, that I managed for what it's worth. That's now going to be a bonus, and it's going to disappear off into the masterclass section as a bonus. So if you want to look at those, look at them now, because they're still there in the group. You know, if you go through the group here, every time you see one of those, okay, every time you see one of these very colorful sort of noughts and crosses, tic-tac-toe things, you will have an hour's worth of photo analysis, basically. Of course, it's not loading for me. But anyway, you know what I mean. There's a new thread that has just arrived, and it's called the Stunning Selfies Permanent Thread. Ignore it. If you've had enough of selfies, just ignore it when you see it. This is for people who are doing the Stunning Selfies 5-day challenge on their own, independently, after the actual live event. Okay, so they've got a place to put their photographs, otherwise it would be very sad. You know, they'd all be all on their own. They've got a thread, they can put them in there. It's not divided into days, but if you've done it already, just ignore it. Just flick past it if you see it from time to time. Or if you want to go in there and have a look at what they're up to, then do. They'd love it. Wouldn't that be nice? And you can get some new inspiration for your selfies. Okay, what I'm talking about is, of course, I'm not seeing it. Man, that's what I wanted to look at as well. I wanted to look at some of your 1 or 2 photographs came in on a very slow showcase Sunday. This is what I'm looking at, you see. Facebook Live, number 9. Photo appreciation. So many amazing photographs. Number 8 of 9. Number 7 of 9. Anyway, so there's a whole load of those to look at if you like. I've got a couple of comments coming in already. And we've got we've got Karen. She says, "Oh, there you are. Yes, here I am." Facebook user says, "Cuckoo. Cuckoo." Now, who says cuckoo? Now, Facebook user, if you want me to know who you are, you need to go here, streamyard.com/Facebook, and just accept. You're accepting that I can see who you are. That's what you're doing. All right. So if you want me to say who you are, or you put your name, Cuckoo from whoever. Otherwise, I don't know who you are. And I like to know who you are because I'm that sort of guy. So very quickly, I will just tell you once more that there are still places on the masterclass. We've just started. It's going to be amazing. There's several people in the group. You won't be alone. It's going to be so much fun. I'm not joking. I'm not even joking. And you can go here, infinitecreativitynow.com, and you can get early bird pricing, even though it's started, you know, and that'll be cool. Right, let's get rid of that. And let me have a look at some of the Sunday. Where did I put the Sunday pictures? Did we have any Sunday pictures coming in? That's Mystery Monday. Here we go, Showcase Sunday. So I put up Showcase Sunday, and we had, what did we do here? For some reason, I put this one, which should have been a branches one. Did I put this in the branches theme? I'm not sure if I put that in the branches theme. Here's the branches theme. I don't know if I did. This actually came from my series, Most Things Do, When Lady Eiffel Smiles, photograph with a text. And I think I entitled this, What Parisians Do to Trees. Although it's not just, no, what the French do to trees. It's not just the French, but they have this way of chopping them back that is just absolutely brutal. And they grow again year after year. And what else did we have? Yeruska. She asked actually for, I think she was still in appreciation, you know, like photo crit mode. And I was just completely analyzed out. And I just didn't want to do anything about making any comments on anyone's photographs after the last 9 days. But she said, which color is best, you know, in these two? And we had this one. Well, what's the difference between these two photographs? This one and this one. Well, I don't really have time to wait for your comments, plus there's a time lag, but I would say that the color has been changed slightly. She's played around with it in the top one and made it more, well, look at the color of the curtain there. That's quite natural, isn't it? It's I would say this is natural lighting, and the greens are very green, but believably green. Whereas in this one, I think she's put a tint to it, some sort of purpley magenta type tint. Something's happened anyway. Maybe it was just a preset that she tapped and that's what came up. And she also added a frame. Yeah, for me, when it's really vegetation, if you throw vegetation off from away from the color that it is, unless there's a good reason for it, it just kind of looks a bit weird. And also, I like this very natural green and the sunlight behind it. Okay, we had Dorothy, who threw in this one. That was it for Sunday. Everyone was critted out, as I said. Absolutely stunning picture from France. Hey! She says a picture from Sanary Harbour in France. Ah, Dorothy. So Dorothy, this is your photograph, and it's an absolute beauty. Absolute beautiful. And I love the way you've got the two boats coming in like this. You know, it's a perfect entry into the photograph. And then the photograph opens out again with the water, and then it closes in again round the back. So that's absolutely beautiful. Well done. Beautiful shot. Lovely lighting as well. Oh God, I can't even imagine what sort of time of day it would be. Is it, because these seem really, really bright, and yet the sky is dark. Maybe you put a kind of a vignette, a dark vignette on it. It's quite funny actually, quite strange. It almost looks like nighttime because you've got the lights all around the harbour, and yet these are extremely bright here. Maybe there's bright lights on them. Interesting. All right, so that was all. That's all we got for. Yeah, I said I prefer the natural one there. Dorothy. Oh, actually, Dorothy does ask for a critique on this. I think. I something to be this picture, but don't know how I did it. What buttons were on? Not exactly sure what you mean there, Dorothy. Pretty impressive, though. Very nice. And let's go to the books theme now. So the theme was books. Just came to me. You know, I like books. I've got a lot of photographs of me with books because it's normally because there's an evocative title, and I like the fact that it suggests that it says something about me or about the, you know, the place where I am without me having to say it explicitly. The Book of Illusions, I love that. Not only is the book cover amazing. It's an old book from Shakespeare and Company, the legendary library in well, there's a bookshop, mainly a bookshop, but upstairs this little old library you can go up. Whenever I go up the funny little stairs, I take a book, and I always find one that has a sort of enigmatic title. And the Book of Illusions, I love that because I create illusions. Any photographer creates illusions. You can make them more or less illusion-y. I try and make them as illusion-y as possible, changing the colors, all sorts of things. Some people take very literal photographs, but they're still illusions, aren't they? It's still a piece of paper or computer screens. And the eye here, so I kind of tried to echo the eye on the front, and me having it. I could just have had one eye, couldn't I? I could have had the book like that with the book's eye and my eye, but I didn't do that. I wanted a bit of atmosphere behind. You see, you can see there's books behind on both sides of my head as well. Gives you a real, and this one's a bit scruffy, gives you a real sense of, looks like you're in a place like in one of those books, like what is it, the Book Thief or Whispers of the Wind or something, Shadows of the Wind, in one of those books, or the old library in Harry Potter or something. Very nice. Anyway, that was me posting my sort of get going thing. Dorothy's everywhere. Dorothy went for it, and she enjoyed putting books on her head. As we all do. Come on, admit it. And so she's taken it from a high up angle on her head, looking down like a little sort of hat, almost like one of those little Chinese hats, isn't it? What does she say? Does she say anything? 𝗙𝗔𝗖𝗘𝗕𝗕𝗢𝗢 says your face is blending in with the wall. I thought it was the entire head was a book. Interesting, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to say about it. It is what it is. And good for you for trying something different. That always gets my vote of approval. And her second one. Okay, so here we've got possibly a little link. The neuro wisdom, inner size, which is probably exercising your brain by the looks of things, and it's sitting on top of her head. So that's nice, isn't it? A double meaning. The double meaning I'm always looking for, or always pleased to find, let's say. And here she happens to be writing in a book or a journal with a quill, a feather quill. Wonderful. Looking very relaxed. That's nice. Wonder how you took it, because you're not holding the phone, if I'm not mistaken. Did you do a self-timer? You propped it up somewhere, then you ran back and tried to look relaxed? Sometimes I do that. And now we have 𝗙𝗔𝗖𝗘𝗕𝗕𝗢𝗙. 𝗙𝗙𝗢𝗙 said, I'm probably pronouncing your name wrongly, I'm sorry. Thought this was nice. It's a book booth that I passed by today. I'm sure someone else contributed a book booth picture as well. Was it Alice? That's lovely, isn't it? And you know what we've got here? You've got reflections. Okay, now what is reflecting here? Okay, wait a second. I'm getting confused between the books here and these doors on the building. Can you see? They're kind of merging into each other. That's pretty interesting. I thought they've really merged into the building here. It's almost like the building is multicolored behind. So you've got one of these book booth things where you take books, I think you take them, your old ones, you put them there, and you take ones that you don't have. So it's a sort of recycling, not really repurposing, recycling of those books that are sitting on your shelves doing nothing. Wonderful idea. We have them in France. We have them in stations. I've got one in the town just there. Really good. In fact, I got two. I don't have them. I got two amazing books. I always feel a bit guilty, but I am going to put some of mine back there. I got one on art, two books, wonderful books on art the other day. And the reflection is great. You need the reflection to take it to another level, give it some context. Where is it? If it's just a picture of the books, okay, but there you go. You've got your double sense of, it's outside, it's in a street. Despina asks, where do you live? Well, she lives in Germany, and she says it's the first time she's seen one of these. I think it's like a national trend. You see more of these all over the place. Feel free to say hello if you're watching. Even on the replay, you can say hello. It's always nice to have your comments and your appreciations of other people's photographs. Now this one is great. This one is amazing. Dorothy says, Dorothy says, I'm a bit proud of this picture I took today. Yeah, you should be, actually. It looks like books, but it's a house. I should have said, what is it? Oh my God. I wanted to take as many floors as I could. So, you know, the building is probably actually this way up, but she wanted to get as much in as she could. And I really should have asked you what you think it is before saying that it's actually a building. That's absolutely incredible. What a crazy building. It's quite small on the screen. I wonder if I can make it any bigger. I don't know. If I do full screen, if this explodes, that's well, that's not too amazing, is it? Is it a bit bigger? It's just incredible. It reminds me of that house that was built for Lego headquarters, or Lego in a Scandinavian country, I think. Kind of just also just wild. It looks like it's made of Lego. You know, the entire huge building looks like it's made of Lego or something. And that's really great. And if you look closely, you can see it is people's like windows and stuff. Imagine living in a thing like that. Someone commented, wow. They're right, yeah, wow. And I've been taking photographs in an area of Paris recently, which is also, it seems like they're creating a new quartier, a new quarter. In large part, there was a huge kind of scar, open scar of a big train station with like many lines next to each other going out. And what they decided to do was cover it over and build a new quarter on the things that they covered over on top of the lines. And because there's all these new buildings going up, they've decided to make every single building different to the other ones. So like, yesterday, I saw there was like one with lots of pointy bits, but at all different angles. Right next to it, there's this kind of completely black building. I've never seen a black building before. It's black, believe me. If you follow my photographs, you'll see it soon. So there is this tendency for wild, weird architecture. I think it's a good thing. You know, boring architecture doesn't do much for me. At least, you know, you often they're so extreme, you like them or you love them or you loathe them, but at least they're trying something different. You've got to give them that. So thanks for that, Dorothy. And Karen, now this is, at least I think this is the one I was talking about. That is beautiful. People in these parts, so it's Karen, I think she's in Canada. People in these parts are building personal outdoor libraries in order to share their old books. It's a personal outdoor library. Returns are not necessarily required, but trades sometimes happen. That's really nice, isn't it? I thought it was like a one by the town, but it's actually a personal one. Can you imagine? Isn't that nice? There is this sort of tendency for recycling, repurposing these days, which I think is a good thing. This kind of connectedness of all things. I say that smiling because I've got this idea for a new project. I might have mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again because it's growing. My paintings, which are painted on 3x3 squares, which make one big square, they can be changed all over. They're all interconnected. Every single little square can be connected on all four sides, and the corners kind of connect. I'm going to send those all over the world to anybody who is willing to contribute a small amount. I'm thinking of 9 because of the figure 9, like €9 or something like that. But a nominal thing, just enough to cover it. And people all over the world will have one of these little squares. If they want to buy a whole painting, they can, but they'll have, the idea is a little square, and they will know that their little square, I'm looking for one, but of course they're in the other room. I'll get one just so that you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so, you know, like these squares here. This is one of 9. It links up. Everything links up. Hang on. Why don't I do this? So you see all the texture and all the funny things that are in there? There's strange things. There's bits of nature. There's coins sometimes. Not on all of them. There's jigsaw pieces that go across each one. There's another one. It doesn't want to focus. Hello, focus. If it focused, you'd be really impressed. Okay, don't focus. There's another one. Comes in a box. The box isn't finished yet. This is actually belonging to someone in my group. You might recognize it. Yeah, so there's all sorts of symbols. There's like images of the Eiffel Tower. There's coins, like a penny coin from Britain, my country, 1 centime coin. There's bits of nature, which I've been able to incorporate in, which isn't going to rot. There's bottle top, all sorts of things. The symbols, infinity, you name it. And I want people around the world to have one of those and know that their square connects up to somebody else's square around the world. 4 of them on the edges and 4 on the corners. And they will all match up. Everybody's square will match up to 9 other squares. And it's about connectedness. It's about the idea that we're all connected in some way. And it's symbolic. That's my idea. So I'm hoping to start a worldwide movement, and everyone has one of my little squares, and they look at it and they think, you know, we're not so different. We're all connected, really. And then that'll spread peace and love and happiness and harmony throughout the world forever, and I'll be the one that's done it. Yeah. No, it's just you know, it's just one of those little attempts. Do you know the story of the hummingbird? The hummingbird. It's an African story, I think. Unless it's American Indian, is that the right term? Sorry. And the forest was burning and all the animals were fleeing, and they kept seeing the little hummingbird going back and forth, actually towards the flames. And they thought, what are you doing, you crazy? Because they could speak. And said, what are you doing? Get out of there. And the hummingbird was actually going back, and it had a tiny drop of water in its beak, and it was dropping the drop of water on the fire, the forest fire, flying away to the lake, getting another little drop of water, putting it onto the fire. And I mean, it's a very, very short story. That's basically it. The moral of the story is that the hummingbird says, well, I'm just doing my bit. I'm just doing what I can do. And, you know, I mean, if everybody did what they could do in the right direction, then we could move mountains. But most people don't, I guess. Or, you know, most people don't do anything when they could actually do a very small thing. You know, you've got to be careful not to get too moralistic and judgmental and stuff. But, you know, I'm looking for something to do which would be small enough that I can do it, but significant enough that it counts on a bigger scale than just me. And I'm thinking my little squares could do that. You know, it's pretty, it's funny, it's and symbolic. So that's my little story. We've got some more people. So I've got Dorothy, I've got Facebook user. Hello, my friend. Hello, but I don't know who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Your infinity squares. Yes, my infinity squares. We are all linked. We are indeed. Hi, Sab. Hello. Hello. I don't know who you are. And connected. Right. So you guys who I don't know who you are, sorry, I know I've said this before, but I do have to say it again. Go here, streamyard.com/Facebook and accept, and I can see your name. streamyard.com/Facebook, accept, and I can see who you are. Marie-Louise, fantastic. So nice to see you. It's been so long. My good friend, Marie-Louise. And so let's move on. To be honest, we're nearly at the end. We've got Yaruska, who contributed this. The interpretation is entirely up to you. This book is the collection of my brother, who is a fan from Star Wars. There you go. And he's put a Star Wars is that a Star Wars creature? Excuse my ignorance. Don't ask me questions about Harry Potter either. I'm old. So that's good colors. You've played with the colors, Yaruska. I think that's one of your things, isn't it? You love playing with the colors. You can see that in the hand there. It's gone very almost postery. It's kind of a poster effect almost, isn't it? Which is when you've got really very few colors indeed. And that can be a very interesting effect. And then she says here, my favorite book. Look at this. My favorite book, my treasure since it was a gift. The shot was difficult to use the selfie stick. Okay. I try not to move a hand to pretend I'm inert. Now, this is probably translated from Castellano. So, you know, English isn't Yaroska's first language. French is her second, Espanol her first, or I hope I have achieved the goal. So she took the picture, she's in the shot, and that's very impressive indeed. It's lovely, it's beautiful. And the book she's talking about is Perfume, or in French, Le Parfum, in Spanish, El Perfume. Is that how you say it? Story of a murderer. If you haven't read the book Perfume, brilliant book, fantastic book. I don't believe it. Christina Hepburn, the famous mermaid underwater photographer who spends half her life above the water and half her life under it. Thank you for dropping in and saying hello. I'm so happy. Okay, so that's Yaroska is in our masterclass, so she will be developing her photography over the next 9 weeks or so. Feel free to join the masterclass. You still can. Today was just the first day. We're just warming up. Come along. You'll be very welcome. And this is the last one in the books series. And this is also from Yaroska. And it's wonderful. You know that book? Do you know what that is? It's Jonathan Livingston Seagull. One of my favorite childhood books. It's very simple, but very profound at the same time. And it's very much in the spirit of you know, coaching and finding yourself and having the strength and the confidence to follow your path when it isn't the same as everyone else's path, or it isn't the same as the path people are telling you should be following. That's a wonderful book, and his other books are wonderful as well. I mean, I read a book called Illusions by him recently, Richard Bach, and I thought, well, that's it. I don't need to read any more books. It's all in there. Yeah, one book. Illusions, if you're interested. Wonderful. And she says, this is my nephew. He's 2 years old and he's trying to fly the bird. I keep looking over here. Sorry, my big screen is here. He's trying to fly the bird from the book. So I took the picture. You imagine he's got the book. Ooh, look, he's flying, he's flying. That is actually a really super photograph of, that is fantastic. The other day in my marathon, 9-hour-long Facebook Lives in preparation for the masterclass, I think it was Iskra. She showed us a photograph. I don't think I could find it now. It would take too long. Of her child playing somewhere. And, you know, she was kind of thinking, how could I make the composition better? And I was trying to suggest something like this. If it's a photograph of the kid, you should be able to see the kid's face, probably. Pretty big in the photograph. I mean, it's a photograph of the kid, not a tiny bit of the kid and 99% of a park. Get rid of extraneous crap and have the kid interacting with something. The kid isn't looking at us, thank goodness. Hasn't got a cheesy grin, thank goodness. The kid is in its own world. This is perfect. This is actually a stunning child photography photograph. It's beautifully framed. You might say it's up and down. That's quite unusual, but it's a bird. The bird's flying in the sky. The kid's looking at the bird, looking up at the bird. He's in his own world. It's just struck me how wonderful this photograph is. How wonderful this photograph is. That is beautiful. Beautiful. You even seem to have some light coming in from the side there, like some sort of, oh my God, I'm getting emotional. It's like a sort of angelic light coming in from the corner of the photograph onto the magical bird, which is a real bird in the kid's eyes. Wow. So that's it for that. I'm supposed to choose winners, aren't I? Winners, right? I'm going to choose winners. You know, I invite people to come on and be my guest, and no one ever does. Well, you know, that's your problem. But I want people to come into these with me so that we can look at photographs together. I'm going to insist. I'm going to get someone. I'm going to say, you're going to be my guest next week, and that's it. And there's going to be 2 of us. There could be 3 of us. All right. So please feel free to put yourself forward. So I'm obviously going to choose the picture of the kid, the nephew, with the bird book. And I'm going to choose, oh, I love that building. That's wonderful. I like that. I mean, I like them all. Okay, I'm going to go for the building. It's just so unusual, isn't it? Yeah, I'll go for this building here. And the angle is crazy. I like angles. And I'm going to go for, I think I'm going to go for this one. I'm sure someone else put some book pictures in, but I missed them. Maybe they put them in the wrong place. I'm sure Alice put some in. If not, carry on. You know, the thread will be open for a while. I can always mention them next week. I'm going to go for this because not only is there a very interesting sort of mystical effect with those sort of colourful circles. It's very, very nice. But there's this double meaning. It's like she's put the books on her head, and the inner wisdom and the inner size and the neuro wisdom is sinking into her head through the books, through her skull. That's really good. I like it a lot. Right, so those are my winners for this week. Dorothy with the inner size. Hang on, I can't have two from the same person. Damn, you got me. I'm going to have to choose another one. Okay, Dorothy, you're a winner twice. And there's Yaruska with her nephew. And well, who does that leave me? Whoever else contributed is going to be the other winner. So it looks like it's Karen. I think there are other book pictures elsewhere. No, 𝗙𝗔𝗖𝗘𝗕𝗕𝗢𝗙. What did 𝗙𝗙𝗢𝗘𝗕𝗕𝗢𝗙 do? Where's 𝗙𝗙𝗢𝗙𝗢𝗙? It's this one here. I'm sure there was another one from you. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do here? I don't know. Karen, that's cute, but I think I'm going to go with 𝗙𝗙𝗢𝗙𝗧 because of the reflection effect and the buildings which actually have the same kind of doors that look like the backs of books, which actually merge into the books in the reflection, and the colourful, the houses look like they're coloured as well, like the backs of books. So I'm going to go for that one. That can be number 3. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm not going to drag it out any longer than I need to. I mean, drag it out. When it's finished, it's finished. And we need a theme. We need a theme for next week. I've got a theme. I would like contributions for themes. Feel free. I've got a theme. I'm going to give it to you, just like that. But if any of you have an idea for a theme for a future week, because we need one every week, please just put it in the chat now. What would be a good theme for a weekly photo shoot? Give you some ideas to shoot on. We've had books, we've had the color blue, we've had doors, and I can't remember any others. We've had branches. The theme for this week is this. Do you know what this is? Well, it's curves. The theme for this week is curves. And I think we can find some curves in life, can't we? I mean, look, I'm just looking. I'm going to turn the camera around and show you some curves straight away. Okay, so curves. Walk around, look for curves anywhere you find them. They could be curves on human beings. Human beings can be quite curvy. They could be curvy roads. There's a beautiful, picturesque, one of the most beautiful streets in Paris. It actually goes like this, except that there's always some bastard who parks a huge white van halfway down it. But apart from that, absolutely stunning street. What else has got curves? Animals have got curves. I don't know. I won't give you any more ideas. That's pretty vague, isn't it? Curves. I want curves. I want to see curves, people. I'm a curves guy. Any other ideas? Anyone want to contribute? Any ideas for future themes? I'm going to give you a few seconds and then I'm going to go away from here and work on my masterclass, people. And I'll also put the post where you can start contributing your curves pictures. All right, so thanks to everybody for watching. Had some people who don't often watch. Christina, so nice to see you. Marie-Louise, wonderful to see you. And everybody else. Shadows. Nazanin, she's doing the masterclass. We've got our masterclass people here. So good to see you. Shadows is fantastic, yes. Someone's saying thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Shadows is great. We've got to do something on shadows, haven't we? Maybe in a couple of weeks. And I'm trying to make them different, very different each week. Something more conceptual, followed by something more solid or concrete. And I'll just finish by telling you that you can still join up for the masterclass. Yes, you can, my friends. It's going to be wonderful. We've got some wonderful people in there, very enthusiastic. It's a training like you have never done before, I promise you. Read this page and you'll find out why. It's fully experientified. It's not your normal training. You have an objective which you help choose and you achieve it. Not like all these other courses where like 93% or something of people don't finish them. This you will finish. You will, I promise you, and you'll have good fun doing it. All right, so that's it, and I will see you very, very soon in somewhere else, live or in person. Who knows? Come and visit me in Paris, n'est-ce pas? That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? See you guys. Bye for now. Sleep well.